we'll start. So welcome to this workshop, stress management workshop. So basically it's stress management workshop, right? So far we have been spending more time in doing asana. So I think this is first time we are, or all of us who have gathered here, first time we are meeting to discuss about the mental health as well. Okay. Stress means basically here we refer to mental stress only, isn't it? Yeah, of course, to an extent, physical stress also, but more we are discussing here about the mental health only, right? So, okay. Before that, almost everyone knows me, and for those of you who do not know me, it's a small introduction. First thing is, my name is Rohit. I am a yoga teacher by profession, and I have a postgraduate diploma in yoga, and then I have also done advanced yoga teacher training from Yoga Alliance International. In addition to this, I'm also a yoga wellness instructor and yoga teacher and evaluator certified by Yoga Certification Board, which is managed by Ministry of Ayush. So it's a Government of India initiative. And I'm also an author and a nutrition coach. Okay. So yeah, now let's begin the discussion related to actual topic of stress management. Okay. Yeah. I will be just explaining this in case if there is any doubts. Anyways, it's like we are known to each other, and since there is not many people, so it don't have to be too formal. You can, of course, stop me there and then ask me the questions if there is any doubts, or we can discuss on this. Okay. So, what exactly is stress? Already we know exactly what stress is and all. We know this, right? But still, a simple definition to begin with. Let us try to understand what is stress. Now, stress is the body's natural response to perceived threats, isn't it? So there is some changes happening inside the body. Means the body is responding to some trigger. So that is stress, right? And perceived threats, we are using this word, perceived threats. Okay. So it may not be, means there could be a situation, may not be threat, but sometimes we perceive that as a threat, right? Or challenges. Now, what happens when this stress happens? So it will trigger physical, emotional, and mental reactions, isn't it? So haven't we experienced, say for example, there is some situation, okay, so where you have come across some challenging situation or stressful situation, you will notice, right, there will be some changes physically, isn't it? Say for example, there is some meeting and you have to prepare some presentation and you have very short time. So what will happen then? You will definitely notice different, what do you say, different reactions in your body happening, right? Then emotional response also. So what will happen sometimes if I am well prepared, what will happen? Or if I am good at it, if I am good at something, and if I am very well prepared and I know what exactly to do, maybe I'm little excited, isn't it? Because I'm little confident about doing that presentation very well. Or sometimes I might become sad or fearful also. So there is some emotional and mental reactions which is happening when we are stressed, right? Now, stress, can we say that stress is not at all required? Okay, some amount of stress is required, right? Why? Because it can motivate us in action. Some amount of stress is required, right? But what kind of stress that is detrimental for a human? So that is chronic stress. Chronic stress. What is chronic? Something which will last longer. So this may negatively impact health and well-being, right? So that is all about stress. Then, so if you have to categorize the stress is usually there are two types. Okay. One is acute stress. Acute stress means something which will last for short term. Okay. It's a short term. And only for maybe some minutes, few minutes or something like I don't know, like work presentation, right? So you have 1 hour or 2 hours to prepare the presentation. So you prepare this and then after the presentation is done. That's all. So you're not going to think about this again. Okay. So this is often intense but brief, means very short time and results on the situation passes. Once the situation is happened already, then you're not going to think about this, right? That is not going to harm me much. But chronic stress is something which is prolonged exposure to stress situations or condition, isn't it? This will happen. So most of us, there could be some or the other triggering factor which results in chronic stress. It could be financial issues, ongoing health problem, or some people have fear of losing the job, isn't it? So one way or other way, there is definitely what you say stress, isn't it? So what will happen if this is happening for the longer duration of time? Okay, we'll discuss that. Now, this is just a simple statistics in India. What exactly is happening now currently? One is high workplace burnout, isn't it? We have been noticing that India ranks highest globally in workplace burnout, with 59% of employees reporting symptoms of exhaustion and stress, isn't it? And then anxiety levels also. 38% of Indian adults experience anxiety. Okay, and that is mainly because of job pressure and societal expectation. Sometimes we try to meet the expectations of our neighbors also. This will also happen more than our expectation. This will also happen sometimes, isn't it? Then financial issues, isn't it? This could also be one of the reasons why people are getting into stress mode. Then who are at risk? Young adults are at more risk. At least 70% of individuals aged 18 to 24 report high levels of stress. Okay. And it could be because of academic or career related pressure. So these are some figures related to stress. Then what exactly is happening when this happens? About 43% of Indians suffer from mental health issues. So linked to stress. So this has, nowadays we see that this is in increasing trend, isn't it? Many people are suffering from different mental health issues like anxiety, depression, and all. Then, of course, so even that is because of the nowadays, I keep using this word called psychosomatic diseases, right? What is psycho and what is soma? That also I keep telling it. Psycho means mental, soma means body, means the bodily diseases are happening because of mental pressure. So that is psychosomatic diseases. Okay. Now, chronic stress contributes to lifestyle diseases is up to 60% cases like hypertension, diabetes, and heart conditions. Unfortunately, India is considered as diabetes capital in the world. So many people are prone to diabetes. Okay. So of course, mental stress is one of the causes. It could be because of the diet, lifestyle, various other issues, and mental stress is also one of them. Okay. Then now, what exactly has we have to do? See, one is, can we completely escape from this stress? Can anyone tell? Can we completely escape from this stress? Is it possible?
No.
Yeah, no, right? So because there is always challenging situation, we are interacting with the external world. So sometimes what happens, other people might not be meeting our expectation, or I may not be meeting the expectation of others, isn't it? And because of that, there is always exposure to stress. So instead of totally giving up, it's very important that there is a shift in mindset. That is, we have to deal to, that is, we have to learn to manage the stress effectively, isn't it? We have to learn to manage the stress, right? Now, what are the causes? Now, one is what happens when a person is stressed is fear of losing something. This is one thing which results in chronic stress, right? Now, a lot of stress comes from being afraid of losing things, people we care about, like jobs, money, or relationship. These are the common causes for stress, right? The first thing what we have to do is we have to take responsibility for this instead of blaming or become getting into a victim mindset mode. Okay, so it's better that we take the responsibility. That is, instead of focusing on these fears, we can take the responsibility to improve ourselves. So this mindset shift in mindset is important to improve ourselves and commit to growth, which makes stress more manageable. Right? Focus on growth. That is what. By treating difficulties as chance to grow rather than things to fear, we can turn stress into motivation, isn't it? So we have to adopt certain practices which will help us to grow physically and mentally, isn't it? So that is what we have to do. In fact, stress management techniques means you are trying to improve yourself, isn't it? So that is what we are doing. That is what we have to do here, right? So this is the key takeaway here: changing our mindset from fear to personal responsibility and growth, which helps us feel more control and reduce the stress. Okay, so these are some of the background information related to stress. Okay, so yeah, any doubts so far or anything you want to add or tell something related to stress here? Yeah, please don't hesitate. Let it be two-way interactive session. So it becomes more interesting when it is a two-way interaction. Yeah, we have been facing stress, right? So lot many changes happens inside the body. Also, scientifically, also what happens when we are constantly stressed. Okay, I will come to that during the exploration. Next, will we explore the strategies and all? We'll come. I will come to that and explain in detail. Yeah. Anything or can we proceed? There is nothing to, so far understood, right? So I'm not going to, I didn't stress more on this because it's better we spend more time on what you say, understanding the techniques to manage stress, because we all know very well what exactly stress is and what exactly is happening for the people and all because of stress. Okay. Now, before we go in detail and understand the techniques to manage the stress, it's also important to understand some of the philosophies or what our scriptures are talking about. What you say? There are some philosophies or theories which we have to understand, which will help us in dealing with this stress effectively. One such theory is the theory of Panchakosha, which some of you might be knowing, or for some of you maybe it is new one. But definitely this concept, if I go on telling, it's like what it is very much justifiable. Okay, easily we can relate to this and make the corrections accordingly. So which will definitely help us in dealing with this stress. Okay. Now this theory of Panchakosha is nothing but it is derived from Taittiriya Upanishad. Can any one of you tell what exactly is Upanishad according to your understanding? What is Upanishad? Of course, it is ancient scripture. I want little more detail about this, if you know about Upanishads.
Upanishads were an explanation given for the Vedas to make it more simple.
Yes, fantastic, fantastic. That's right. Short and precise. What she told is exactly right. Upanishad is nothing but it is part of Vedas only. Okay. We have different Vedas, right? We have studied this in our school. Four different types of Veda: Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda, Atharva Veda, and all. Okay. Veda means what? Knowledge. Knowledge means it's not only about worshipping the God. Knowledge related to health, knowledge related to what you say, finance and everything. So for everything we have answers in our Vedas, and Vedas can be again categorized as Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyakas and Vedanta, which comes in the end. That Vedanta is nothing but Upanishads only. The last summary portion of the Vedas. Okay. So there are total 108 Upanishads. Among the 108 Upanishads, 10 are considered to be the Mukhya Upanishad or major Upanishads. In that one among that is Taittiriya Upanishad, which talks about 5 layers of existence, which is known as Panchakosha. These layers are from gross to the subtle. Okay. So I keep telling this while teaching pranayama, right? While learning pranayama, I talk about the gross body, subtle body, isn't it? Gross body is this, which I can feel. Then subtle means, for example, soul. We believe there is a soul, but we have not seen that. That is the subtlest thing, isn't it? So now we'll discuss about these 5 layers from gross to subtle one by one. Okay. And how to balance this. So these are the 5 layers, which is very important for us to understand. That is Annamaya Kosha, which is known as physical body. We'll discuss this in detail now. Then Pranamaya Kosha, second one. Third is Manomaya Kosha. Okay. Fourth is Vijnanamaya Kosha, which is known as intellect or wisdom body. And finally, Anandamaya Kosha, which is usually called as bliss body. Okay. Now, let us try to explore in detail, because definitely knowing, when we know about the Panchakosha and when we try to balance these koshas or these layers, okay, definitely we'll be able to lead the healthier and happier life. And definitely we'll also be able to know how to deal with stress. Okay. Now, coming to first kosha, Annamaya Kosha. Okay. What is Anna?
Food and ahara.
Aham means, yeah, food, isn't it? Annamaya means something which is made of food. Means this physical body is made of food. That is why it is known as Annamaya Kosha. Okay. This is the grossest layer. Okay. It represents the physical layer of our being, which includes our muscles, bones, organs. Okay. Caring of this layer helps us to achieve better health and manage stress. Okay. Now, how do we balance this layer? First thing is shift from sedentary lifestyle to at least a moderate level of exercise. Okay, I have used the word physical activity. Physical activity is not a right word. Physical exercise is different from physical activity, isn't it? So I have made this mistake. Sorry for that. So I would tell physical exercise, which is important, isn't it? To deal with stress or to keep ourselves healthy. One is exercise. Of course, practice of asana at least for 40 minutes is necessary for everyone, or any exercise of a person's choice. Even walking is also known to help a person. Okay. So what exactly happens? How does this exercise helps in dealing with this stress? How does it help us to reduce this stress? Okay. See what happens when we do the exercise or the workouts. Okay. Very first thing is, what happens when we are stressed? What happens to our body? Can anyone tell what happens to our body? What is the response? I told some changes will happen inside the body.
How hormones are released actually.
Yes, yes, very good. Which hormone?
It's called the oxytocin. I'm not very sure. Dopamine is released when you feel good. So
Yeah, yeah. Dopamine is opposite to this.
Cortisol, I think. Cortisol.
Exactly. Cortisol, right?
yeah.
So now we have a gland called adrenal gland. Okay,
Okay.
what happens whenever we are exposed to stress? This adrenal gland, it secretes the hormone known as cortisol, which is also known as stress hormone, cortisol. Now, what is this cortisol doing to our body? Okay, for the time being, during that stressful situation, it is going to stop our normal body functions, which is digestion, isn't it? So it is going to stop all normal body functions, and it is providing us with excess energy so that you can fight or flight the situation. One is either you should be able to fight this situation or escape from this situation. Like all your energy is given to all your energy is directed to muscles, isn't it? And some changes we like I told you changes happening inside the body. You might have seen that breathing becomes rapid, heart rate increases, isn't it? So many changes happens in the body. So that is the response of the stress, isn't it? Now that happens day in and day out, frequently. That becomes a chronic stress. Then how about the body functions? And that is the reason we notice that people are becoming sick more and more nowadays. It could be a high blood pressure, it could be diabetes, and one of the reasons is this. Now, what happens when we do the workouts or exercise, especially yogasana? So we have this hormone called endorphins, which is released. So which is exactly opposite to your cortisol. These endorphins are known as happiness hormones and also natural painkillers, which has a counter effect to your cortisol. Since we cannot completely 100% escape from this stress, of course, some shift in mindset is required. Now, to counter that, physical exercise is must, and yogasana is also a must. Okay, so stress means not only sitting and doing meditation, little, at least moderate level of asana practice is must. And if a person is very, very busy, not able to do anything, at least at least walking 20 minutes helps in the nature or garden. At least minimum he can do is walking. At least he should be able to do that. Okay, and there is one more hormone known as serotonin. Okay, so that is something like your dopamine, hitting that dopamine. So these two hormones are exactly opposite to your cortisol. So also exercise is important, and definitely you might have experience. See, after the yoga sessions, many people have told me they feel somewhat happy after the sessions, and you might have experienced this, and that is because of this reason. So this is the scientific result behind this. Okay. Then nutrition is also very, very important, isn't it? Proper nutrition. Okay,
Uh,
in yoga, tell Haris.
Rohit, I have one doubt.
Yeah,
So here you said cortisol, right? So
yeah.
is there any way we can get to know the level of cortisol? Like, is it like high or low? Based
Not,
on
I haven't gone that deep into the scientific details and all. Maybe there could be a probability. See, for example, we have test for thyroid and all. Thyroid test you go and know. So there
yeah.
they will test your thyroid functioning and all. Probably there is for cortisol, but I haven't gone that deep. So maybe I can check and get back
Okay.
later.
I
Okay.
can I keep
Yeah, please. Yeah.
yeah, cortisols can be tested in lab
Yeah.
and it's taken through blood sample or urine
Okay.
for result.
Okay. Oh, good. Good for adding this, Menuka. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
it can be checked. This. So definitely there should be a levels, and maybe that is one of the way. So good that even I got to know about this. Yeah. Okay. Then nutrition is also important. Okay. See, in yoga, there is yogic diet, or yoga talks about what you say, three guna, qualities of human being. For the yoga, the most conducive guna or the characteristic is sattvic mindset. A person who is sattvic, no, he will be able to concentrate better. Okay, and he is always calm. Then comes rajasic. Rajasic means agitated mind. Okay, so it's like disturbed mind always. And then comes tamasic state. Tamasic means a dull state. Even the food has impact towards our mental state. What state we are. Okay, so there are even the yogic food has been categorized as sattvic food, rajasic food, and tamasic food. Now, if I go very detail into this, it will definitely take time. But what simply I can tell is, as much as possible, we have to avoid outside food and processed food, because these foods are tamasic foods, which make our mind dull, and again, which will that will put us into the stress mode. Okay, and already physically also it's not good eating these foods and all. Sattvic foods means as much as it should be natural. Examples is fruits, vegetables, whole grains, rather processed. Okay. So instead of eating maida, the whole wheat is a good thing, and better to switch for millets. The natural foods. These are all sattvic foods. Okay, that is one thing. For example, excess coffee, tea consumption. These are all coming into the rajasic foods category. So you can definitely go detail and study this, because today, because of internet, we have lots of information. Definitely, diet also helps us in our mental health. So as much as possible, if not 100%, at least 70 to 80% of our food should be sattvic, which is fresh and naturally grown. Okay. Then sleep is also very, very important, because what happens in this sleep? So our body is recovering. So you're not only sleeping for the sake of sleeping, right? It is because our body has to recover from the stress which is happening. And this sleep is both for physical and mental rest. So many times you see, when you are sad or something would have happened, your mood is not good. Once you have a good night's sleep, you might notice that there will be some changes in your mental, mental state. So these are the three ways how you can balance your Annamaya kosha. Okay, this is one. Second, coming to Pranamaya kosha. Further to proceed, Surya Namaskar practice. This will also helps. Okay, and see, it is not only physical activity or exercise. Along with that, proper relaxation is also very, very important. One is the practice of Shavasana also helps. Sleep already I covered. Even the relaxation is also too important. So you should not ignore this. Okay. Then coming to next one, next layer, that is Pranamaya Kosha. See, we talked about the physical body, isn't it? Now, we need energy for this. So according to our yogic science, a person is alive as far as there is a life force inside him. What is this life force called? This life force is called prana. Okay. Now, for example, prana is a common term, right? Everywhere we are using this. Maybe all the South Indian language, Kannada, Hindi, South Indian language, Kannada, Tamil, and all, we know prana. What is prana? In Kannada, they tell when a person is no more, avange prana illa. So there is no prana, isn't it? So that is energy which keeps a person alive. Okay, and this is known as pranamaya kosha. What exactly is this prana doing? Prana also has certain functions. Okay, so even prana has a responsibility of body functions, to take care of body functions. Okay, and what exactly is happening here is this prana is said to move inside the nadis, which is known as energy channels. See, this is not visible. Prana, energy channel, this and all are not visible. So we can't scan, do MRI, and then see the nadis and all. So these are all subtle aspects, okay, which has been mentioned in our scriptures. Now, what exactly is happening is this prana is circulating inside the nadis. Okay, so how many nadis are there inside the body? There are at least 72,000 nadis according to our scriptures. And one of the Hatha Yoga texts is Hatha Yoga Pratipika. It mentions that there are total 72,000 nadis. Okay, and in that 72,000 nadis, I have given here 14 of them are important. Still, if you shortlist this, three of them are very, very important. Sushumna Nadi, Ida Nadi, and Pingala Nadi. Okay. Now, I have given these details about Nadi, this link and all. Anyways, I have shared this material. If you are interested, you can go click this link and then try to understand about the Nadis and all. So, what exactly is happening is, like I told, in Pranamaya Kosha, this prana is circulating inside these Nadis. Just like how your blood is circulating in your arteries and veins, and it should not stop, right? Similarly, this prana is circulating inside the body, and there should not be any blockages in this. There should not be any blockages. Now the question comes, why the blockages happens? That is again because of the lifestyle disorders, improper sleep, sedentary lifestyle, improper diet. These are the things which might result in improper circulation of prana or blockage of prana. What happens when once the prana is blocked? What happens once the prana is blocked? That is when a person will suffer from physical or mental diseases. The prana can further be divided inside the body as pancha prana. There are pancha prana. One is Mukhya Prana. Okay, so which is residing in this region from throat to diaphragm. Then there is Apana Prana. Apana means it is from navel to downwards. So which is downward movement, which takes care of this one excretory organs or reproductive organs. Then there is Samana Vayu. That is one more prana, which take care of digestion. Okay, and this one Mukhya Prana takes care of respiratory and circulatory system. Then you have Udana, which takes care of the throat region up to the head region, and Vyana Vayu is known as which keeps circulating inside the body. Okay, this five Pancha Prana has a body functions. Now, when it is blocked, say for example, one particular prana is back blocked, say for example, Samana or something. That is when a person will suffer digestive related disorders. It could be constipation, it could be IBS, it could be diabetes, or any such issues. Okay. So for that reason, yeah. So it's very important that this prana is being circulated properly. So now what practices will enable free flow of prana? See, one is pranayama itself, isn't it? Now our breathing influences the flow of prana. Agree with this? Can anyone add and tell me about this if you know something about this? Breathing influences our prana. How?
For example, I know that
Yeah,
dogs have very short breath, which is
exactly,
their
exactly,
lifespan, and humans have
exactly,
longer breath. So,
exactly. Okay. So one example I can give is how breathing influences the prana. Very first thing we'll tell that if a person is no more, isn't it? In movies and all we see. Okay. There are two things a person will go, means a person goes and test whether a person is alive or not. What he does, first thing what he does, he will take his finger close to the nose and check whether a person is breathing, isn't it? Then you will tell prana is that there is prana. Otherwise, there is no prana, isn't it? Or second is heartbeat. But first thing what you will do, you will go and check this. That means no breathing, no prana. So for that reason, if the pranamaya kosha has to function properly, that can be regulated through breathing. And one good thing which was added by Jetashi is she told that how breathing is, the deeper you breathe, it's believed that a person lives longer. Classic example is this. Okay. Uh, for example, she told dog, right? A dog or rat. I will take example as rat. Okay. No, let us start with humans only. Can anyone tell me what is the breathing rate of a human? Breathing rate of a human.
I'll take a guess.
Yeah, please. Sorry.
17 breaths per minute.
Yeah, you are very close. Yeah, that's right.
12 to
Okay.
8.
12 to 18. If you tell it in a range, it will be somewhere in this range, 12 to 18, or average simply will tell 17, 15 or whatever it is. Good, you know that, isn't it? That means if you set a timer for 1 minute and if you test how many times you're breathing, both inhalation and exhalation, so that on an average it will come to 15, right? Now, same comparison if we do with the rat. Anyone knows what is the breathing rate of the rat? Manshruda Heladi means human beings, we told 15 average. Okay. So, what is the breathing rate of rat? Okay, I will tell you.
120.
120 breaths per minute. It is 120 breaths per minute. So just imagine how fast the breathing is, how shallow the breathing is. Okay, then we'll compare this with turtle. For example, turtle is longest living creature on earth, right? Probably some claim it to be 800, 300, at least 300 years. And if you see the breathing rate of a turtle, that is at least, it is only 3 minutes, 3 breaths per minute. 3 breaths per minute. And this is all I was knowing so far. Okay, only last week I came to know that still the longest living creature on earth is blue whale, it seems. Actually, I had attended one of the orientation program of my daughter, and their principal was talking about all these mental health issues and all. And so nicely, she also spoke about yoga and everything. And that is all I was knowing till now about the turtle, but I never went and explored about blue whale and all. So she told blue whale is the longest living creature. Okay, so I know, even I was not knowing the breathing rate. Any guess what is the breathing rate of blue whale?
Must be one.
Yeah, she told 18 minutes, one breath. Oh, I may have to confirm that. I didn't confirm. It's better that I confirm it. She told 18 minutes, one breath. And that is the longest living creature on earth, blue whale. So maybe after this, I will also go and check. Maybe you can also check. I just stopped at I just stopped at this one. See, that meaning is not that tomorrow onwards we should stop the breathing itself. Okay, it's not that. So means pranayama is a deliberate attempt to slow down the breathing so that you are free from diseases. Okay. And if you're breathing properly, you will be able to get rid of these blockages of the prana inside the channel, energy channels. Okay. So that is all we have to do. Frankly speaking, nowadays, because of the stress levels, our breathing rate is not even 15. It can be 20 to 25 always. Always we are breathing fast most of the times because of the stressful situation. So first thing we have to do is we have to learn to regulate the breathing, isn't it? And one of the simplest technique or effective technique we can do is, which in the home itself, start practicing Nadi Shodhana Pranayama daily. That is more than enough. And we all know Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, isn't it? Most of the times you are learning. Still, you don't have to do any complicated things. Of course, there are many, what you say, advanced pranayama technique like Kumbhaka Pranayama, where breath retention and all done. But we are not still eligible for that. It requires lots of practice and all. And if there is any issues with, if there is any minor ailment also, we should not be doing such Kumbhaka Pranayama and all. But simple Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, slow breathing, controlled breathing, comfortable breathing is more than enough. And even when I am doing asana practice, it's not only about flexibility and distance. I might be doing fundamental postures, but am I doing that with proper alignment and deep breathing, comfortable breathing? That is more than enough. Now, how this is related to mental stress, isn't it? See, our breathing also has more influence towards the mind. So even our scriptures have mentioned, and scientifically also it's been proven that once we learn to regulate our breathing, we'll be able to regulate our mind also. It is very much interrelated. How? Very simple example. Now, say for example, you are in a situation where you are feared, okay? Or say for example, you are very angry on someone. What will happen to your breathing? What is the first reaction which happens to your body? Your breathing becomes fast, right? Agitated mind, breathing becomes fast. Now you are doing something reverse to this. You start controlling your breathing, then definitely after a few days, you'll notice that you'll be able to control your mind also. And there is most of you heard about Ashtanga Yoga also, right? So can anyone tell me what is Ashtanga Yoga? Not Pratibha and Harish. Because I know you guys know this. Ashtanga Yoga.
From what limited I know, it is using the 8 limbs in a continuous flow of motion, non-stop.
Okay. Okay. See, thing is like Ashtanga Yoga means what has happened of late is, since one of the styles which is practiced in Mysore is known as Mysore style Ashtanga, so we try to relate only with asana practice. It's not that actually. Actual Ashtanga Yoga is, it's nothing but it's been enumerated by Patanjali. Okay. See, the main aim of yoga is to gain mastery over the mind. And that is a very difficult task, gaining mastery over the mind. So what Patanjali has prescribed, he started telling, you start from the foundation. He went on telling yama, niyama, asana. See, asana is third limb. Yama means ethical principles. You have to follow some ethical guidelines. Niyama is what? Self-discipline. Still, there are some sub-principles. I'm not going deeper into this. Maybe some other day I will try to cover this. Third limb is asana. Fourth limb is pranayama, according to Patanjali. Fifth limb is pratyahara. Pratyahara means controlling the senses or not depending on other situation or other people for the happiness. That is pratyahara. Go inward. Then comes dharana after pratyahara. Dharana means intense concentration. Then comes dhyana. And after that, dharana, dhyana, samadhi is the final. So what he is telling is, to control your mind, first you should learn to control your breathing. Pranayama comes in the middle. To control your mind, it's in other way, it is simple. Why he has given this steps? Dhyana means what? Meditation. Intense concentration for the long duration of time. Dharana is concentration. Even before you start controlling your mind, even Patanjali is telling this. start controlling your breathing. Even Hatha Yoga also steps same. Asana, Pranayama, Mudra, Bandhas, and then Nadanusandana. So even in Hatha Yoga also it is clearly mentioned that start controlling your breathing, then you will be able to control your mind. Means you start controlling, regulating your breathing means controlling your prana. Once your prana is controlled, so definitely you will be able to control your mind also. Okay. So one practice is this Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. I think there is no one who doesn't know Nadi Shodhana Pranayama. Everyone knows, right? We keep doing that, isn't it? That is one thing. Second thing, Brahmari Pranayama. See, Brahmani is highly effective. So what is Brahmari? Bumblebee breath. We have done that, no? Shanmukhi Mudra and that humming sound. Pranayama. Okay. How Brahmari Pranayama helps? See, this is not something. So anyways, I have shared this resource. You can just go to this link and check. See, this is study which is conducted on Brahmari Pranayama. So I will just read out this. Effect of Brahmari Pranayama on CNS. What is CNS? Central nervous system. On cognitive functions. Okay. Okay. Improved self-confidence was noted in 30 students practicing Brahmari Pranayama. Means, first thing is, we should ask all the kids to practice Brahmari Pranayama regularly. So because that develops self-esteem and self-confidence. Okay. For 5 minutes. Then increase in alpha waves of EEG was noted in 50 boys practicing Brahmari Pranayama for 30 days. What is this alpha waves? See, just like how your heart, health of your heart is tested by ECG equipment, similarly, the states of mind can be measured by EEG. There is an equipment called EEG, electroencephalography something. Among the different states of mind, alpha state of mind is said to be the most, relaxative state of mind. And when you go to alpha state of mind regularly, okay, so it calms, it has a ability to calm your mind. Even that was noticed. Okay, then significant reduction in depression, anxiety, and stress was noted in 60 COVID-19 patients practicing Brahmari Pranayama daily 20 minutes for 15 days. So within 15 days, COVID patients were able to get rid of depression, anxiety, and stress. Okay. And then improved mental health score was noted in 60 college students practicing this pranayama daily for 15 minutes for 20 days. Okay. These are some of the studies I have put. Okay. So you can just refer this link and understand. There are many studies which have been conducted. So just to make it short, I took this as an example. And I also heard that through one of the doctors who used to be my student. She was telling that, of course, she was doctor not in this particular hospital. You know, in Bangalore, there is a hospital, Nimans, which treats people with severe head injuries or mental diseases also. There, the doctors who know about yoga and other things, they used to teach this Brahmari to the people who had, psychological issues, it seems. Okay. So when it can cure people with such extreme psychological issues, the common stress definitely will be able to deal better when we practice Brahmari Pranayama. So again, it is simple. We don't have to go anywhere. At least daily 5 minutes to begin. Start with only 5 minutes. Brahmari Pranayama. Okay. Then, so that is about our Pranamaya Kosha, because that Brahmari comes in Pranamaya. Okay, so that is the reason I discussed about that in Pranamaya. So then comes Manomaya Kosha. Yeah, please, Sarasa.
Sorry, sir. See, this Brahmari Pranayama, you were saying with the Shanmukhi Mudra. Even without the Shanmukhi Mudra, we can put our tongue to the upper palate and do it, right? Without.
That is Kechari Mudra, actually. Rolling your tongue, sending to upper palate. Kechari Mudra.
Not even rolling, sir, just keeping our tongue, pressing it to the upper palate and making the humming sound without, using the Shanmukhi Mudra. Is it also, it's also like humming bee sound only?
Kechari Mudra, I do not know much, Sarasa. See, here in Shanmukhi Mudra, what happens, some people, especially in the beginning, they do not know how to apply. So here, for the Brahmari Pranayama, what you can do is, main thing is, core practice here is to close the ears and utter that humming sound, make that humming sound. So for people who have difficulty doing Shanmukhi Mudra, they can only close the ears and eyes and then concentrate on that humming or bumblebee breath. So that is why you notice in some places people teaching like this, in some places people doing Shanmukhi Mudra.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, okay. The reason why Shanmukhi Mudra is added is because of one added advantage. So it's believed that one of the reasons why people become mentally stressed is because not able to control the senses. Okay. The Shanmukhi Mudra is like shutting the senses when you're practicing this. It's like you are controlling the senses. Over a period of time, you'll be able to control the senses, and then in turn, you will be able to control your mind also. Got it? Yeah. Otherwise, simple, this practice is also fine. Okay. So now coming to next kosha. So we finished Annamaya kosha and then we have done with Pranamaya. Next is Manomaya kosha, which is very, very important. So I talked about this, right? This is mental layer, which is subtle compared to your Pranamaya and Annamaya kosha, isn't it? So this Manomaya kosha is associated with mind, emotion, thoughts, and perception. Usually the disturbance happens in this layer, isn't it? Because we are dealing with the external world. This is where the disturbances happen, and that will result in Adi. Adi means stress. Now, this Adi is not taken care of. What will happen? That will result in Vyadi. Okay. See how nicely scientifically this has been explained is, now what happens when Manomaya kosha is disturbed? Say, for example, there is some mental stress. Okay. Say I'm in very agitated mood. What will happen? My breathing will become very fast. Then once my breathing will become fast, my prana is not in control. Once the prana is not controlled, the weakest organ, it will hit the weakest organ. The person who is having digestive issues, so he will get hit in, that is where the prana will attack first. Then the respiratory system or anything for that matter. So everything is related. So it's very important to take care of our Manomaya kosha. How? That is what? Simple meditation practices are more than enough to begin with. Even Brahmari, though it is pranayama, it gives you the meditation effect. Okay. And then as far as possible, avoid negative thoughts as much as possible. Could be fear, jealousy, or whatever it is. And why we say that to avoid negative thoughts is this thoughts is nothing but it is vibration. It's like magnet. So the more negative we think, there is a possibility that we attract people and situation who are exactly to our thoughts. So it's like magnet only. So that is why they, as much as possible, whenever the negative thought is coming in your mind, immediately stop that. Okay, and then shift to some positive thoughts. That could be one of the ways. And as much as possible, cultivate thinking positive in all these situations. Okay. So now what are the practices to balance this Manomaya kosha? Om chanting. So that I'm going to go in detail and discuss now. Then mantra chanting will also help us to balance this kosha. Then yoga nidra practice. Yoga nidra we are not going to discuss much detail here, but we'll do one session related to yoga nidra also. Then any meditation will help for that matter. So which is suitable for you. So which should be easy for you, sustainable. Something which is simple, sustainable, and you can practice for longer duration. Okay. Then Vijnanamaya kosha is intellect. Intellect means what? See, this Manomaya kosha is like it is only processing the information. That's all through senses. But the intellect is something which tells Manomaya kosha whether it is right or wrong. Okay. For example, I'm in a traffic signal. Okay. Now this Manomaya kosha will only process the information telling that this is green, this is red, this is yellow. Now Vijnanamaya kosha will tell Manomaya kosha when it is green, okay, you can go ahead. When it is red, you should stop. So this is layer of intellect, Vijnanamaya kosha. How this can be improved? By reading the scriptures, by proper practices, seeing positive things. Okay. So this is the fourth layer, and then comes Anandamaya kosha, which is known as bliss layer. See, if you go on explaining the philosophy and all this Pancha Traitya Upanishad, it's a very vast subject. So you need months together to understand in detail. The Panchakosha alone itself is a big subject. But for us, considering this topic for mental health, this much knowledge is more than enough. Yeah, now we have almost come to end part one. Okay, any questions? Yeah, we have finished this. Any questions so far? And hope it is useful also so far what we have discussed.
For any
Yeah,
of
any doubts? Yeah, please. Yeah, Ankita.
for any of the pranayama, right? Like for example, Nadi Shodhana or Brahmari, like is it a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
is there a good timing? Like should you do it in the morning or is it okay to do it in the evening? And does that have any effect?
See, what they tell is for any practices like pranayama, meditation, and all, it's believed that Brahma Muhurta is said to be more conducive for effectiveness. What is Brahma Muhurta? It is at least 60 minutes before, 60 or 90 minutes before sunrise. That is said to be more means effective for any practices. Okay. So, which is roughly 4:30 a.m. or 5 a.m. Okay, you can consider this timing 4:30 a.m. or 8 a.m. Why they tell is the mind is in sattvic state during this state. Sattvic means you will be able to concentrate better. That is why you see in olden days and all, if you have to study, people used to tell wake up early and then study and all. That is the reason people used to say that. They call it as Sandhya Kala, Sandhya Kala. And evening also, they tell there is some time somewhere before, I think, very close to sunset, the timing very close to sunset also. Okay. It's very close to. These are the two timings. But yes, based on the lifestyle nowadays, what happens is if you have slept late in the night, it's not feasible to, because you need for at least 7 hours of proper sleep, isn't it? So it's not feasible for you to wake up early. So it's good thing is you practice this in the morning when you wake up. Instead of doing nothing, of course, whatever the time which is available for you, you can do that. And one good thing about these two pranayama, Brahmari pranayama and Nadi Shodhana, is that you can practice this anytime, morning or evening. Okay. Reason is, for example, there is one more pranayama known as Bastrika. Okay. So, which is a powerful pranayama which stimulates your mind. So, if you're doing that close to bedtime, you will not get sleep properly. So, I have mentioned this for Kapalbhati also many times. Kapalbhati is a yogic kriya. Okay. Even this should not be practiced in the evening, should be practiced in the morning. Similarly, so there are, for some pranayamas, there is restriction. But Nadi Shodhana and Brahmari is like anyone can practice, very minimum contraindication. There's no issues at all. So it is safe to practice, and it's better that we start practicing at least 5 minutes. Okay. Clear so far? Any doubts so far? Okay. Shall we move to the next, this one, practices? Now, like I mentioned, no, one of the ways to deal with mental stress is by the practicing of mantra. Okay. Now, what exactly is mantra? Mantra is nothing but the shloka says Mananat Trayate iti mantra. Okay. So, what does it mean? Mananat Trayate means protection. Something which protects mind is known as mantra. Mantra is nothing but sound, isn't it? You utter. So, we all know about mantra. Probably we have learned some of the other prayers, mantras, and all, isn't it? So here, if you are chanting the mantras regularly, what happens? What exactly happens? It is known to protect our mind from what? Usually, this manatrayate means mananat means something which happens in the mind. Usually, what is happening because of current day lifestyle, what has happened? People have tendency to tendency to think more negative thoughts, isn't it? So definitely chanting mantra will help us to get rid of these negative thoughts. Okay. For that reason, not only people with mental issues, anyone practicing meditation can add mantra meditation into their routine. Okay. How it works? Mantra shift our focus from stressful or obsessive thoughts to a calming sound of praise. Isn't it? So what exactly is happening when I do the mantra? See, meditation is what? Meditation is nothing but contemplating on an object. It could be anything. Usually, when you do the meditation, there are three things. One is the meditator, person who is meditating. Second thing is object on meditation. What exactly you are meditating? And the process. These three things are involved. So, in mantra meditation, what will happen? It's nothing but process is you are chanting the mantra and your whole concentration on one mantra. That is the object of meditation and the meditator. So, here what will happen when you are concentrating on the mantra? You will notice that instead of your mind focusing on the stressful or obsessive thoughts, it will start focusing on the chanting. Then this shift brings peace by breaking the cycle of worry and reducing mental agitation. Okay. But I've seen no sometimes in movies and that show some stressful situation. Suddenly a person is started chanting some mantras and all. So that is the reason. Okay. Now what is the benefits? Over time, mantra practice helps align thoughts and emotion, reducing stress and creating inner harmony. Of course, it's not like now I chanted mantra immediately I will see the solution. It's not like that. So it takes some time. So anything, no, at least for 21 days, we have to practice to see the results. Anything we want to do, no, at least 21 days we have to do consistently. There is no consistency, definitely there will not be results. So it's not like instant things happening. Okay. Then again, I have selected few simple mantras or the techniques which will definitely help us in dealing with the mental state. Okay, to begin with, these are the 5 simple mantras I have selected. Okay, one is arm chanting. So we have done this in our regular sessions also. Second one is Gayatri mantra. Then I have also given Surya Namaskar mantra, which you can incorporate with your Surya Namaskar practice. Then Yoganasana mantra, which can be chanted before practice of your Yogasana. Then Mrutyunjaya mantra, which can be chanted after your Yogasana practice also. Okay. To begin with, you can chant only for some time. Then later on, if you have it time, you can increase that to 108 times also. Okay, I'll come to that. So first, we'll discuss about arm chanting. So arm chanting, I think most of you are familiar here. You know this very well. Arm is nothing but it's a combination of 3 Sanskrit syllables, akara, ukara, and makara. Together, this is arm. So when you're chanting arm, so it's not om actually, it's arm chanting. Okay. So already the method, I think here, if I see the attendees, most of you are, no one is new here. So arm chanting, how you do? You start with ah. You open the mouth. You start with ah. Then partially your mouth is closed. It becomes oo. Then ma. It's like if you want to chant arm, so it will be something like this. Arm. And feel that vibration. And feel that vibration reverberating. Okay. So what's the duration? See, at least we have to see the results. We have to chant at least 21 times, at least in a day. Okay, or minimum 5 minutes to begin with arm chanting. See, of course, now your question might come. See, you are telling Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, you are telling Asana practice, you are telling Brahmari practice. I know every day, everything cannot be done. Then in that case, what you can do is, see, Nadi Shodhana, you can keep regular because it has its own benefits. Okay. Or one day Nadi Shodhana, one day Brahmari Pranayama, then one day Om chanting and one day some mantra chanting. So that way you can do some balance or some adjustments and all. Should not be a problem. For example, Saturday and Sundays, the whole day probably I'm not doing any asana or anything and I have a free time. It's better I start with weekends. Then gradually continue practicing this during the weekdays also. But daily chanting is always helpful. Or if not all mantras, select something which is suitable for you and continue with that practice. Okay. So I have also given this reference link to chant Om. Still, if you have any doubt, so anyways, I have shared this, material. You can click on this link which is available on YouTube. So how to chant Om and all, you can refer this video. Okay. Then these are the benefits of chanting Om regularly. What is it? Reduce the anxiety and stress. Studies show Om chanting can lower anxiety and stress similar to mindful meditation. Then improves mood. Okay, I was talking about serotonin, endorphins and all. Definitely that effect you are going to experience here. And it can also alleviate mild depression symptoms. Then improves the mindfulness, enhances awareness and focus, leading to better control over thoughts and emotions. Okay. Then enhances spiritual well-being, encourages inner peace and connection with the universe and sleep qualities. Those who are having the sleep issues can also start practicing this. Okay, and also students who want to improve, students also need better concentration levels, right? Even they can start practicing this. And this is the reference I have given link. So, which is again the study based, which is the study, okay, which is done by some organization. So you can go, this is the screenshot I have taken from that site. Okay, you can just click on this link and try to understand in detail about the benefits of chanting Om. Okay, so this is the summary I have given. And these are all study based, which is not described randomly. Clear? It's simple, no Om chanting. There is no difficulty at all. All we have to do is practice, that's all. Isn't it? Okay. Now coming to next mantra, Gayatri mantra. So this is also very familiar. You might have heard about this, right? Now the Gayatri mantra is one of the oldest mantra and most important mantra from the Rig Veda. Okay. So it is known to bring positive effects to both person chanting it and those who listen. See, first thing is all the mantras we should be able to chant properly. Otherwise, it gives a what you say different meaning, and it might result in adverse effect. For that reason, when we are chanting, we have to chant this properly. If not, at least a person who is new to this can start listening to this chant. Okay. Now, reciting the Gayatri Mantra is believed to clear the mind, reduce negative thoughts, and create a feeling of peace and clarity. Okay. Now, chanting regularly is said to connect a person with wisdom, light, and guidance. Okay, Gayatri Mantra. Now, how to chant this? What is that mantra? Okay, sorry. So, how to chant? So, this is the mantra. So, shall we try chanting this? See, what I have done is here, I have given this in Sanskrit. As much as possible, if you're familiar with Hindi or Sanskrit, no, it's very good because it will be easy for you to pronounce it properly. Or any state language. For example, I have just put here Kannada. Maybe if you belong to some other state, probably you get this in Tamil, Telugu, or whichever is suitable for you. Okay. So English, what happens? No, there is no option. English is best, but sometimes there is a chances that I might pronounce it in a different way. Okay. So shall we chant this one? Will you try? Okay. Will you try chanting this? Okay. Let's do that. Am Bhur Bhuvaswaha Tat Saviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yonaha Prachodayat. Okay. See here, it's like what I did is, though there is in English, I was able to chant because Kannada is very easy for me to read, so I just use this. So maybe you can find the state language so that your pronunciation is not changing. Okay. But however, if you want to listen to this, I have given this YouTube link, okay, with music. So you can just check out here. So maybe you can turn on this in the video or in your mobile phones and then start listening to this. Once you start listening to this, definitely it goes to your consciousness and then you can start. And if you have time availability, you can chant 108 times. So, which is said to be more effective. You can do that also. Repeat this mantra. And see, it's like I was also reading or I was doing this yoga therapy course. So, where for most of the ailments, I noticed that it's not given by some random person, a doctor, okay, who is a MBBS doctor and also a yogi. Everywhere for the most of the diseases, when it comes to meditation part, he was prescribing Gayatri Mantra in most of the places. Om chanting Gayatri Mantra, Om chanting Gayatri Mantra. Okay. So it is that powerful. Okay. So that was Gayatri Mantra. So what is the benefits? It reduces same again. It definitely reduces the mental stress. Studies show that Gayatri Mantra chanting helps relieve depression, anxiety, and stress. Then emotional health. Chanting has been linked to anger management and better emotion regulation, aiding in positive health and resilience, and enhances cognitive abilities. Regular chanting improves memory, attention, overall mental focus, activating beneficial brain areas. Okay. Again, so this there are two more benefits, three more benefits. Boosts mental skill, increase learning power, concentration, self confidence, and mental peace. Purifies mind and spirit. So okay, encourage sattva quality. I talked about three gunas, right? So it encourages the sattva quality and then reduces the rajas and tamas. Then promotes overall well-being. And this I have taken from this site. Okay, that is effect of Gayatri Mantra on mental health. It's a study conducted by International Journal of Research and Analytical Review. So again, this is study based. Studies have been done on this. Okay. Then this is Surya Namaskar mantra. Okay, even before starting Surya Namaskar, also you can chant this mantra. Okay. So shall we chant this once? Shall we try? Okay. Hiranmayena patrena satyasyapi hitam mukam Tatvam poshanna pavrunu satya dharmaya drishtaye. See, all these mantras are from Upanishads only. Okay. Even Surya Namaskar also you can practice. You know the benefits of Surya Namaskar? What are the benefits? Can anyone tell me what are the benefits of Surya Namaskar?
It improves the metabolism of the body.
Okay, improves the metabolism. Means it helps you burning the calories or it may help you to get rid of the fat. Yes, one. Then
And
It
it regulates the breathing.
regulates breathing. Yes. Then, yes, Rasa.
it's right from your top of the head it till the bottom of your toes. It works out, warms up the whole body.
Fantastic, fantastic. Very good. See, Surya Namaskar is known as Sarvanga Paripurna. What is Sarvanga Paripurna means? It gives the complete health benefit, both physical and mental. It could be your respiratory system, it could be your digestive system, because there is forward bending actions, you are bending back, improves spinal flexibility, improves circulation, and also enables the what do you say? Enables the hormones, endocrine. There is one more system known as endocrine system where the hormones are responsible to secrete the hormones in right quantity or optimal quantity. Even that is taken care in the practice of Surya Namaskar. Not only that, in Surya Namaskar, what we do, we try to breathe comfortably, breathe deeper also, right? So what happens? It's not only physical health. In turn, it helps in your mental health also. And it is believed according to our scriptures, if you worship, see, Surya Namaskar means it is nothing but you're paying your respect to Sun God. Sun represents the health and wealth. So he is considered to be a god of health and wealth. So it's believed that a person who practices Surya Namaskar regularly will be able to get rid of all kinds of ailments. At the same time, probably will be able to bring some wealth also. Okay. So now this is the mantra which will add effectiveness to your practice. Okay. So like I told, no, I have given the mantras here in three states. In case if you belong to some other language, definitely in your state language, if you Google it, probably if you search for a while, you will definitely get that your mother tongue, sorry, your language, and it will be easier. English, of course, it's easy for us, but there is always chances of misunderstanding or mispronouncing. So you can try to, you can just Google and try to find the right. Okay. Then comes Yogasana mantra, which can be chanted with Yogasana. See, I have not given the benefits of each and every mantra because mantras are same. So almost every, of course, some mantras have different effect, but general benefits are same. When it comes to mental stress, all mantras has equal contribution. Okay, for that reason, for the time being, I have selected simple mantra which can be incorporated with your regular practice, isn't it? Anyways, we are doing Surya Namaskar. So I can start chanting Surya Namaskar mantra. Anyways, I am doing asana. I can start with asana mantra, yogasana mantra, isn't it? Then, when you want to, when you think, when you want to, when you intend to do practice of meditation, you can always select Gayatri mantra, Om chanting, and your Mrutyunjaya mantra. Okay. Now, yeah, let us learn this yogasana mantra now. Okay. Get it. Yogena chittasya padena vacham मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोतं प्रवरं मुनीनां पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिराणतोऽस्मि. Okay. I know it's difficult for you now, but definitely once you start chanting regularly, it becomes easier. And let us see, if possible, I will try to incorporate this in our regular sessions also. Okay. Yeah, this is Yogasana mantra. And everything is available on YouTube. Lot many people have done videos on this. The chanting is easily available on YouTube. If you just go and Google or put yoga in YouTube, if you put Yogena Chittasya, it's available. So it's simple. All we have to do is practice. That's all. Okay. Then final mantra is Mrutyunjaya mantra. Okay. Okay, we'll chant this. Okay, Mrutyunjaya mantra, which is known to be a very powerful mantra. We'll talk about this. Now, let us chant. Am Trayambakam. Yeah, Am Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushtivardhanam Urvarukamiva Bandhanan Mrutyormukshiya Mamrutat. Okay. See, none of the mantras are lengthier. All are very simple mantras, isn't it? I know only if I'm teaching you one time, it's not going to get in one day, maybe it's difficult. So again, everything is available. Okay, all you have to do is search this and constantly practice. Or if not, start listening to this first. Just start listening to this. Okay. So, and see here I have given this is one of Sadhguru's this one video where there is 108 times. The chant is being done 108 times and it is with music. You can start hearing to this. It's very soothing. Okay. And in turn, after over a period of time, you will also be able to chant also. First, start to listen to the mantra. Then gradually we'll be able to do that. And any doubts, maybe one session separately I can only dedicate for mantra chanting. So where we can chant this mantra some 10 times or something and we'll be able to learn this. Okay, we'll do this. So what happens if you chant Mrutyunjaya mantra? Okay, so one is protection. It is said to protect against untimely death like accidents, murder and all, or diseases and negative energies. Okay, then it is said to cure bodily ailments and heal holistically. So that is the some of the times in the most of the time this has been prescribed for people with cancer issues and all. Okay. Then peace. It is said to bring peace and happiness and to help with stress management. And then clarity. It is said to enhance focus and clarity and help achieve goals. Longevity. It is said to bestow longevity and it is said to lead to increased wealth and prosperity also. Okay. So ideally, that is what I'm telling. The right time to practice any mantra is early in the morning. Okay. And if you have a time, like I told, initially you can start with only 21 times. Start chanting only 21 times initially. And later on, you may be able to increase that to 108 times. Okay. So yeah, that will end the session for today. I hope I was not very fast or let me know if there was something confusing here.
Rohit, I'll
Yeah.
add one more mantra.
Please. Yeah.
Actually, there is one Nirvana Shatakam by Adi Shankaracharya, Jagadguru Adi Shankaracharya. So by chanting Nirvana Shatakam, it improves our mental health and it reduces the anxiety.
Okay, good.
Basically, it relates to the gamma oscillations of the human brain.
Okay.
So that is also one of the things we can add.
Super. Very nice. Yeah.
And maybe they're available in YouTube everywhere. So
Okay. Yeah, nowadays all information is available. Only thing is we have to check and adapt the practice. That's all. Yeah. Anything to add?
I have one question.
Yeah.
Usually after meditation or yoga, and as you know, I'm like relatively new.
Yeah.
I whatever time of the day I do it, I feel sleepy. Maybe because I'm very relaxed. So I want to know if that is normal for everybody, and does it go away with time? Do you stop
It
feeling
may go
sleepy?
away with time. Yes, it may go away with time. Initially, maybe you feel sleepy and all, but it may go away with time. Say, for example, if you wake up early in the mornings, little the mind will be drowsy and all. So maybe it is difficult. No, maybe you can find in a day, maybe there is some time where your mind is very active. See, for me, I will tell you somewhere in this time, okay, 6 p.m. onwards, I'm very active. I don't know for what reason. 6 p.m. onwards, till 9, I'm very active. The same stimulation I will not have in the morning time. So maybe that is right time for me. So maybe you can find the time when your mind is stimulated and maybe you can try out.
Somehow for me, that's 3 o'clock in the morning when I
Okay.
can't really do anything else. But I don't know if that's related to stress actually, waking
Yeah.
up with that.
Few things are like Jetashi, something new you start, no, that will be like there will be some or the other things which will be trying to stop you. But regularly, if you keep practicing this, no, so your body will start adapting, or your mind will also start adapting to that. Adapting to that.
So just I wanted to add a point.
Yeah, very good.
In regarding stress and dealing with anxiety, and because anxiety is the first step before stress, actually.
Yes.
I have realized that spirituality really helps a lot.
Yes.
So when you know yourself, when you have your internal dialogues with yourself, your conversations and all that, you realize that what is of importance, what is of not importance, where it is that you can actually do something about things, and where it is that actually you cannot do anything which is not in
Yes,
your
yes.
control. So
Very
all
nice.
these sort of things um, help in our thoughts when when some situations come and then we realize, okay, is there something I can do about it or not? If there is, then yes, what I can do. If there's not, then okay, it's out of your control. So
Exactly.
spirituality actually helps a lot in dealing with stress and anxiety, sir, in my
Very nice.
experience in
Yes, yes,
life,
yes,
actually.
yes,
I realized that actually.
yes.
And I wanted to ask you, when we do
Yeah,
yoga sessions,
yeah.
having a background music you think is more beneficial, like a very soothing music or not?
It depends actually. See, earlier I used to go to some seven. I was learning no long back, a decade back or something. There, people used to play the music, and it was soothing for me. It was good. But later on, when after that, it's like for many days I practiced Mysore style Ashtanga also. But I felt that was more effective because I was concentrating on the breathing every time for all these sessions. So I felt that was more suitable. But again, it's an individual choice if you ask me. But traditional yogasana yoga schools, no, what they would ask you is to concentrate more on the breathing rather than any external sounds. But sometimes some modification, this kind of light modification is fine as far as it suits the person. Yeah. Any other doubts or questions?
On the Anandamaya kosha,
Yeah.
I think it was described as the layer of bliss.
Bliss. Yeah. Yeah.
Is there like anything specific to maybe improve this kosha, if that's the right way to ask?
So once we are able to balance all these four koshas, no, all this, which one, Annamaya, Pranamaya, then Manomaya and Vijnanamaya, we'll be able to attain this bliss, this level, it seems. So what they tell is Anandamaya kosha is a total bliss. It cannot be explained. So which cannot be Anandamaya kosha means the bliss. It's been evaluated. The bliss level has been evaluated in this Anandamaya kosha. So where they call it as ultimate bliss.
So this ultimate bliss you said, is it Sat Chitanand? What you're
Yes, 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 yes. So they tell, see, it's been evaluated that for a person who has everything, okay, everything, whatever he wishes, whatever he has got, no, and that multiplied by there is some infinite number or what you say, it's multiplied by several this thing. So which cannot be, I mean, so which you cannot get with a normal this thing, it seems. So that level of bliss. And they say that is possible through spirituality.
I think end of the day, when you come down to it, it all boils down to spirituality only.
Yes, 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 yes. Finally, it relates to spirituality only. Yoga practice actually what currently many people have thought that it's one form of fitness. It's like you do Zumba and everything. But no, actual aim of yoga is that only. It's spirituality only.